Listen to me. The question is not whether you're talented. The question is not whether you've got the resources. The question is simple. Can you outwork everybody else? Because I don't care how much talent you got. I don't care how much potential you have. If you're not willing to outwork the next person, your talent will be wasted. Some of you keep asking, oh, why am I not where I want to be yet? It's because somebody else is waking up earlier than you. Somebody else is staying up later than you, and somebody else is grinding while you're resting. And guess what? The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the one who refuses to quit, the one who's willing to do the work nobody else wants to do. But you can't keep crying about opportunity and then sleeping through it. You can't keep praying for success and then skipping the grind that comes with it. Success doesn't show up because you wish for it. Success shows up because you outwork everybody else in the room. Let me be clear. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't even have to be the strongest. But if you refuse to be outworked, I promise you, over time, you will rise to the top. So I'm asking you today, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to sacrifice sleep, sacrifice comfort, sacrifice distractions? Because greatness lives on the other side of discipline and work ethic. Stop talking about what you're going to do and start doing it. Stop comparing yourself to others and start competing with yourself. Every single day, ask yourself, did I outwork who I was yesterday? Listen, when you're tired, keep going. When you don't feel like it, keep going. Because the people who outwork everyone else, they're the ones who change the game. So the question is not, can you do it? The question is, will you do it? Will you outwork everyone else? Everybody in this room, listen to me carefully. Talent doesn't win. I don't care how gifted you are. I don't care how much natural ability you were born with. I don't care if people told you all your life that your special talent alone will not take you where you want to go. What wins in this world? What separates the good from the great? What separates the average from the elite? It's not talent. It's work ethic. It's how much time you're willing to put in when nobody's watching. It's how hard you're willing to push yourself when you don't feel like pushing anymore. It's how disciplined you can stay long after your excitement and your motivation fade away. See, I've met some of the most talented people in the world. I've met athletes who could run faster, jump higher, and move quicker than everybody else on the field. I've met students who could ace every test without even studying. I've met singers and musicians who were blessed with voices so pure it would make you cry. But let me tell you something, most of them never reached the level they could have. Why? Because they relied on talent. And talent will only carry you so far. If you stop working, if you stop grinding, if you think that gift you've been blessed with is enough, I promise you somebody with half your ability, but double your grind is going past you. You see, talent is a starting point. It gives you a head start, but it's not the finish line. Work ethic is what keeps you in the race when talent gets tired. Because talent will get tired, talent will get bored. Talent will think, I don't need to practice today. I don't need to study today. I don't need to study today. I don't need to train today. But work ethic doesn't think like that. Work ethic shows up regardless of how it feels. Work ethic says, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I don't feel like it. I don't care if everybody else is resting, I'm still grinding. That's why some of the most successful people in the world aren't the most talented. They're the ones who simply refuse to be outworked. They wake up earlier. They stay up later. They put in more reps. They do more research. They make more calls. They practice longer. They push harder. And eventually what happens is their consistency outpaces your talent. Your natural gift gets overshadowed by their relentless grind. Think about this. Every single year, in every field, sports, business, music, entertainment, there are people who rise to the top who nobody expected. They weren't the fastest, they weren't the smartest, they weren't the strongest, but they were the most consistent. They were the ones who kept showing up day after day, long after the talented ones got tired of showing up. They outworked everybody around them, and because of that, they earned the opportunities, the recognition, the success. I remember when I started speaking, I wasn't the most talented. There were guys with better voices, better stage presence, bigger vocabularies. But you know what I had? While they were relaxing, I was practicing. And over time, guess what happened? Not because I was better naturally, but because I refused to let anybody outwork me. Listen to me. Talent can make you look good for a season, but work ethic makes you unstoppable for a lifetime. Talent is flashy, but work ethic is steady. Talent is the spark, but work ethic is the fire that keeps burning. Talent might get you in the door, but work ethic is what keeps you in a room. Some of you right now, you're frustrated. You're saying, why am I not further in life? Why am I not where I want to be yet? And the truth is, it's not because you don't have talent. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because you don't have potential. It's because your work ethic hasn't matched your talent. Yeah, you're leaning on your gift instead of building it with discipline. You're relying on your natural ability instead of putting in the hours that sharpen that ability into mastery. Let me be real with you. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And the problem with most talented people is they get comfortable. They think their gift is enough. They think their skill is enough. They think they don't have to grind out the grind like everybody else. And the moment you get comfortable, that's the moment somebody hungrier than you, somebody less talented than you refuses to quit, passes you by. Fast. So I need you to make a decision today. Are you going to let your talent go to waste because you won't put in the work? Or are you going to match your talent with relentless work ethic? Because if you've got both, if you got the gift and you put in the grind, then nothing and nobody can stop you. That's the ultimate combination. But if you only have talent, you're a liability to yourself. Talent without work ethic is wasted potential. Talent without work ethic is unrealized greatness. Talent without work ethic is just a dream that never comes true. When you see somebody successful, don't just look at their talent, look at their grind. Look at their grind. Look at the hours they put in when nobody was clapping for them. Look at the sacrifices they made when nobody was watching. Look at the consistency they built when nobody believed in them. That's what you should admire. Not just the talent, but the relentless work ethic behind it. Because in the end, the world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most consistent. It rewards the ones who show up every day, who keep pushing when it's hard, who keep grinding when they don't feel like it. Talent is nice, but talent fades. Work ethic builds character. It builds discipline. It builds resilience. And those things last forever. So I'll say it one more time. Talent doesn't win. Work ethic wins. Everybody talks about wanting to be the best. Everybody talks about wanting to be successful. Everybody talks about wanting to be number one. But let me tell you something. Talk doesn't make you the best. Talent doesn't make you the best. Talent doesn't make you the best. Wishing, hoping, praying by itself doesn't make you the best. The real advantage, the real separator between winners and everybody else is not talent. It's not intelligence, not connections. The real advantage is simple. Outworking everyone around you. You got to understand, in this world, there are millions of people who want the same thing you want. Millions of people who want the job you want, the car you want, the house you want, the lifestyle you want. They're dreaming just like you. They're praying just like you. They're praying just like you. They're hoping just like you. So what makes you think you're going to get it if you're not willing to do more than them? What makes you think you're going to stand out if you're not willing to grind longer, push harder, and sacrifice deeper than the rest of them? The truth is, most people quit when it gets hard. Most people back down when it gets uncomfortable. Most people stop when they're tired. Most people stop when they're tired. That's why outworking others is the ultimate advantage, because most people won't go that far. Most people don't have the stamina, the consistency, the hunger to keep going when it hurts. If you do, if you can go one more rep, one more mile, one more hour, then you instantly separate yourself from the pack. You instantly put yourself in a category most people will never touch. I remember being in school, struggling. I wasn't the smartest student. I wasn't the most naturally gifted. But I figured out something early. If I was willing to outwork everybody else, I could make up for what I didn't have in talent. While they were chilling, I was studying. While they were sleeping, I was grinding. While they were wasting time, I was investing time. And that's how I closed the gap. That's how I went from nothing to something, by outworking everybody else in the room. You got to make it your mindset. I might not be the best today, but I will not let you outwork me. You might have more talent. You might have more talent. You might have more resources. You might even be ahead right now, but you will not beat me in effort. You will not beat me in grind. You will not beat me in consistency. And if I keep outworking you, eventually I will pass you. Because hard work compounds, effort compounds, discipline compounds. Every day that you outwork somebody else, you're planting seeds that will grow into results later. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone less talented beat someone more talented simply because they wanted it more? How many times have you seen the underdog come out on top because they refuse to stop grinding? That's the formula. That's the real advantage. The underdog doesn't always win because of talent. The underdog wins because of hunger, because of effort, because of the decision to outwork everybody else in the fight. You gotta be relentless. You gotta treat every single day like it's a competition. Not a competition against the world, not even a competition against your friends. It's a competition against yourself. Every day you wake up, you ask, did I outwork who I was yesterday? Did I give more today than I gave yesterday? Did I push harder, sacrifice more, focus deeper? Because if the answer is no, then somebody else out there just gained an edge on you. Somebody else just worked harder while you were coasting. And in the long run, that's the difference between winners and losers. I tell people all the time, don't look at my success now and think it came from talent. Don't think it came from luck. It came from grinding when nobody knew my name. It came from staying up late nights, early mornings, rehearsing, practicing, perfecting. It came from deciding I was not going to let anybody outwork me. And that decision changed my life. You can't control how talented you are compared to somebody else. You can't control if somebody is smarter than you, richer than you, stronger than you, but you can always control effort. You can always control how much grind you put in. And effort, my friend, is the one thing that levels the playing field. Effort is the great equalizer. Because no matter where you start, if you're willing to outwork everybody else, eventually the results will show. I need you to think about your goals right now. Think about your dreams. Do you really want them, or are you just saying you want them? Because if you really want them, your actions will prove it. Your grind will prove it. Your sacrifices will prove it. You won't just talk about it. You'll wake up earlier. You'll stay up later. You'll keep going when you're tired. You'll keep pushing when you feel like stopping. That's the difference between people who make it and people who don't. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop worrying about what the next person is doing. Just make up your mind. I will outwork them. That's it. Simple. Every day, do more. Every day, push harder. Every day, refuse to settle. Because the moment you settle, the moment you relax, the moment you get comfortable, that's the moment somebody hungrier, somebody who wants it more, somebody who is willing to grind harder will take your spot. You gotta want it so bad that you're willing it so bad that you're willing to outwork everybody for it. You gotta want it so bad that sleep becomes a luxury. Comfort becomes a distraction. Excuses become unacceptable. You gotta want it so bad that no matter how hard it gets, you keep saying to yourself, well, I will not be outworked. Not today, not ever. That's the real advantage. That's the secret that nobody wants to talk about. It's not luck. It's not connections. It's not being born with the gift. It's outworking everyone else every single day for as long as it takes. Let me be real with you. Every single day, opportunities are passing right by people. And the sad part is they don't even see them. Not because the opportunities aren't there, but because comfort is blinding them. Comfort is keeping them in bed when they should be up grinding. Comfort is keeping them watching TV when they should be working on their craft. Comfort is keeping them scrolling on their phone while somebody else is building the life that they keep dreaming about. Opportunities don't disappear. They just go to the people who are willing to sacrifice comfort and put in the grind. I need you to understand this. Comfort is a trap. Comfort is the most dangerous thing to success because it makes you feel safe when you should be hungry. It makes you feel like you got time when really you don't. It makes you feel like you've already made it when you're still just getting started. And what happened? It's while you're comfortable, while you're chilling, while you're relaxing, opportunities are slipping through your fingers. Somebody else is taking them. Somebody else is grabbing hold of the blessings you were supposed to get simply because you weren't willing to grind when it was your turn. Some of you are praying for opportunities, but when they come, you're not prepared because you chose comfort over preparation. You chose sleep over study. You chose partying over discipline. You chose excuses over execution. And then you wonder why nothing changes. It's not that life didn't give you opportunity, it's that you weren't ready for them. Opportunities don't wait. They don't sit around until you feel like you're ready. They show up and they reward the person who's been grinding consistently, even when they didn't feel like it. And I tell people all the time, comfort is the enemy of growth. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You don't get stronger when you're comfortable. You don't get smarter when you're comfortable. Everything you want, everything you're dreaming about, everything you were born to do, it's all on the other side of discomfort. It's on the other side of the grind. It's on the other side of you pushing yourself when you'd rather quit. But if you keep choosing comfort, you'll never cross that line. You'll stay stuck in the same place year after year while opportunities pass you by. I've seen it too many times. Talented people, gifted people, people with everything they need to succeed, throwing it all away because they couldn't let go of comfort. They wanted success, but not enough to give up their sleep. They wanted success, but not enough to wake up early. They wanted success, but not enough to sacrifice their weekends. They wanted success, but not enough to grind when it wasn't convenient. And guess what? Somebody less talented, somebody less gifted, somebody with fewer resources, but more grind, passed them. That's the reality. Comfort kills dreams, and grind makes them come alive. You have to decide what you want more, comfort or opportunity, because you can't have both. You can't spend all your time being comfortable and still expect to catch the opportunities that demand sacrifice. You can't spend all your energy trying to avoid the grind and still expect to reap the rewards of hard work. Life doesn't work like that. Life rewards the discipline. Life rewards the grinder. Life rewards the ones who choose discomfort today for greatness tomorrow. Think about this. Every successful person you admire, every athlete, every entrepreneur, every leader, every artist, moments when they had to choose between comfort and grind. And every single one of them will tell you success didn't come when they were comfortable. It came when they pushed past their limits. It came when they said no to comfort and yes to sacrifice. It came when they woke up before the sun, when they stayed up long nights, when they worked while everyone else was resting. They didn't miss their opportunities because they weren't willing to be uncomfortable. You've got to train yourself to love the grind more than the comfort. You got to train yourself to see discomfort as a signal that you're growing. You got to start chasing the situations that stretch you, that challenge you, that force you to rise to another level. Because that's where the opportunities live. The opportunities don't live on the couch. They don't live in your comfort zone. They don't live in the easy path. They live in the grind, in the struggle, in the sacrifice. Some of you keep saying you're waiting for the right time. You're waiting until it feels comfortable. Let me help you. The right time will never feel comfortable. The right time will never come wrapped in convenience. Opportunity never comes when you're ready. It comes when you're grinding. And if you're not grinding, you'll miss it. It'll pass you by and you won't even realize it until it's too late. I need you to look at your life right now. Be honest with yourself. Where are you choosing comfort over grind? Where are you letting opportunities pass you by because you'd rather be comfortable? Are you choosing sleep over building your dream? Are you choosing fun over discipline? Are you choosing relaxation over preparation? Every time you do, you're trading opportunity for comfort. And let me tell you, comfort feels good in the moment, but regret feels way worse in the long run. You don't want to wake up 5, 10 years from now and realize you missed your shot because you couldn't let go of comfort. You don't want to live with the pain of knowing you had opportunities, but you weren't willing to grind for them. You don't want to look back and wonder what could have been if you had just pushed yourself a little harder, if you had just sacrificed a little more, if you had just chosen to grind instead of comfort. Every day you wake up, you got a choice, and that choice will determine your future. Are you going to keep letting comfort rob you of your opportunities? Or are you going to embrace the grind, embrace the discomfort, and position yourself to catch every blessing, every chance, every door that opens in your life? The choice is yours. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Success doesn't care about your excuses. Success doesn't care about your reasons. Success doesn't care about how tired you are, how busy you are, how unfair life has been to you. Success only responds to one thing: consistency. Day in, day out. Showing up when it's hard. Showing up when it's boring. Showing up when you don't feel like it. Success doesn't reward people who show up every once in a while. It rewards the people who show up every single day, no matter what. You gotta stop thinking that excuses are going to get you results. Excuses might make you feel better for the moment, but they won't move your life forward. Excuses are comfort food for your ego, but they starve your future. Every time you make an excuse, you're putting a pause on your potential. You're putting a wall between you and your goals. And the problem is, most people don't even realize how much they're destroying their own chances of success by feeding themselves excuses instead of building consistency. Consistency is the difference maker. I've seen people with less talent, less money, less education win big in life simply because they were consistent. They didn't quit when it got tough. They didn't stop when it got boring. They didn't let excuses take over. They just kept going, kept grinding, kept showing up. And over time, the compound effect of their consistency took them to levels that people with more talent but no discipline could never reach. The problem with a lot of you is you start, but you don't finish. You get excited about the idea of success, but you don't stay committed to the process of success. You go hard for a week, maybe a month, and then the moment it gets tough, you let the excuses creep in. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't have time. I'll try again later. What happened? You lose all the momentum you built. You start back at zero every single time. You're stuck in this endless cycle of starting and stopping, and that's why you're not moving forward. Consistency isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels repetitive. Sometimes it feels boring. But that's the point. Success is built on the things you do consistently, not the things you do occasionally. If you only work hard when you feel motivated, you're not going to make it. Because motivation is temporary, but consistency builds habits, and habits determine your future. You've got to train yourself to show up even when you don't feel like it, to push yourself even when you're tired, to stay disciplined even when the results aren't showing up yet. Because that's what separates the successful from everybody else. Everybody can work hard for a day. Everybody can grind when it's new and exciting, but not everybody can stay consistent when it gets old, when it gets tough, when nobody's clapping for them. That's the true test of whether you want it or not. Excuses will always be there, but opportunities won't. Every time you choose an excuse over consistency, you're missing out on a chance to get better, to grow, to move closer to your dream. And the truth is, the world doesn't care about your excuses. Life doesn't stop just because you don't feel like it today. The clock is still ticking. Opportunities are still moving. Somebody else is still grinding. So while you're making excuses, somebody else is building the life you keep saying you want. I hear people say all the time, I don't have time. Let me tell you something. You don't need more time. You need more consistency. Stop wasting hours on distractions and then acting like success is avoiding you. Stop saying you don't have time when you know you got time for Netflix, time for social media, time for comfort. You got the time, you're just not consistent with how you use it. Success rewards the ones who refuse to quit. Success rewards the ones who keep showing up even when it looks like nothing is happening. Because let me tell you, something is always happening when you're consistent. Even when you don't see the results yet, the roots are growing. The foundation is being laid. The habits are being built. And then one day, all that work that seemed invisible starts to show up in ways you couldn't even imagine. That's the power of consistency. Some of you think success is about doing one big thing, but it's not. It's not. Success is about doing small things consistently over time. Waking up early every day, practicing your craft every day, studying every day, saving money every day, working on your goals every day. It's not about intensity for a moment. It's about discipline for a lifetime. And the moment you understand that, your whole life changes. I didn't become who I am today by giving excuses. I didn't get here by working when I felt like it. I got here by grinding every single day, by staying consistent even when nobody believed in me, even when nobody was watching, even when the results weren't coming fast enough. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to win, you got to do the same. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Stop waiting until everything lines up. That's just another excuse. There's no perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The perfect strategy is consistency. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to keep showing up every single day. Because at the end of the day, excuses won't pay your bills. Excuses won't build your dream. Excuses won't make you great. But consistency will. Consistency is the ground that success respects. Consistency is the language success understands. And if you give it, if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing, if you refuse to quit, success has no choice but to reward you. Listen to me carefully. Somewhere in your mind, you got this idea that in order to win, in order to succeed, in order to break through, you gotta be the best. You think you gotta be the smartest in the room, the fastest on the field, the most talented in your craft. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to be perfect. What you need is the mindset that says, I refuse to be outworked. That's it. If you decide that no one will outwork you, that decision alone will put you ahead of 90% of the world. Because here's the truth, talent can fail you. Talent can take a day off. Talent can get comfortable. Talent can get arrogant. But work ethic doesn't fail. Work ethic shows up every single day. Work ethic says, I may not be the best, but you will not beat me in grind. You will not beat me in effort. You will not beat me in sacrifice. And if you keep that energy long enough, you'll pass the ones who are more talented than you, but lazy. I've seen it my whole life. People who were naturally gifted, people who could have been stars, but they didn't want to put in the work. They thought their gift was enough. And then I watched somebody less talented, less gifted, but hungrier than everybody else come in and grind their way to the top. That's the formula. Hunger beats talent. Refusing to be outworked beats being the best on paper. You've got to adopt this mentality. I may not win every time, but you will know I was there. I may not have the skill you have, but I'll push harder, I'll study longer, I'll train more, I'll prepare deeper, and eventually I'm going to wear you down with my work ethic. Because consistency will outlast talent every single time. When I was coming up, I wasn't the best speaker. I wasn't polished. I didn't have the biggest vocabulary. I didn't have the best stage presence. But I had heart. I had grind. I had a willingness to work harder than anybody else. And while others were relying on their natural ability, I was sharpening mine through relentless practice. I was doing reps when nobody was watching. I was studying my craft while they were sleeping. And over time, guess what happened? I passed them. Not because I was the best, but because I refused to be outworked. You've got to get to the point where your work ethic is your identity, where people may doubt your talent, but they can never doubt your grind. They may say, he's not the smartest. They may say, and she's not the most skilled. But when they mention your name, they better say, that one right there. They don't stop. They don't quit. They outwork everybody. That reputation alone will open doors for you because people respect effort. People respect consistency. People respect hunger. Stop worrying about being the big. That's where some of you are stuck. You're comparing yourself to others. You're looking at what they have, what they can do, and you're convincing yourself you don't measure up. Stop it. That mindset is killing you. You don't have to match their talent. You just have to beat their effort. You just have to decide that no one will out-hustle you. No one will out-grind you. No one will out-sacrifice you. And if you live like that every day, I promise you'll start winning battle. You never thought you could win. The truth is, most people won't go as far as you're willing to go. Most people won't put in the hours you're willing to put in. Most people won't sacrifice the way you're willing to sacrifice. And that's your advantage. That's how you make up the gap. You don't close the gap by wishing you had their talent. You close the gap by outworking them until their talent doesn't matter anymore. Think about it. Every great story, every underdog who rose to the top, it wasn't because they were the best. It was because they refused to quit, refused to slow down, refused to be outworked. The greats you admire, the legends you study, their success didn't just come from skill, came from obsession, from grind, from being relentless when everyone else was comfortable. So ask yourself right now, Are you giving everything, or are you letting people outwork you? Are you waking up earlier, staying up later, putting in the extra reps, going the extra mile, or are you hoping your talent alone is enough? Because I'm telling you, it won't be. Someone out there that's hungrier than you, and if you don't decide to outwork them, they're going to take your spot, take your dream, take the life you keep saying you want. This is not about perfection. This is not about being the best in the room, then the best in the room. This is about being the one who refuses to be broken, refuses to be lazy, refuses to stop. You've got to tell yourself, how I don't care how talented they are. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care how far ahead they are. I will not let them outwork me. That's the mentality of a champion. That's the mentality of somebody who wins regardless of the odds. Because in the end, the people who rise aren't always the best. They're the ones who stayed the longest. They're the ones who kept going when everybody else quit. They're the ones who grinded when it wasn't convenient. And that can be you if you make the decision today that no matter what, you will not be outworked. When we talk about outworking everyone, one of the greatest keys is discipline. Talent might get you noticed and opportunities might give you a platform, but it's discipline that sustains everything. Discipline is that invisible hand guiding you to do the work, whether you feel like it or not. Most people confuse motivation with discipline. Motivation is a spark, it's emotional, it comes and goes. You hear a speech, watch a video, or listen to a song, and for a moment you feel unstoppable. But discipline doesn't care about how you feel. It's a system, a commitment, a promise you make to yourself every single day. Without discipline, motivation fades quickly and you're left exactly where you started. With discipline, you'll keep moving forward, even when motivation disappears. That's what separates the great from the average. The great don't rely on fleeting emotion. They rely on structure and consistency. Think about this. The reason most people never achieve their goals isn't because they lack the ability. It's because they lack the discipline to consistently do what is required. Everybody wants success until it's time to sacrifice comfort. Discipline says, I don't care if you're tired. I don't care if you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. That's the voice that wakes you up at 4 a.m. when your alarm rings, even though every fiber of your body wants to sleep in. That's the force that tells you to finish the workout when your muscles are screaming. That's what makes you study when your friends are out partying. Discipline is the quiet, relentless soldier inside you that never takes a day off. And when you build that kind of consistency, day after day, year after year, success doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. The truth is, discipline is built in the small, unseen moments of life. It's not the grand gestures people clap for. It's the choices you make when nobody is watching. Do you hit snooze? Do you get up? Do you scroll through social media for hours, or do you use that time to sharpen your craft? Do you give in to cravings, or do you stick to the plan? Those small decisions stacked on top of each other shape your destiny. People look at successful athletes, entrepreneurs, or leaders and think they just got lucky or that they were born special. What they don't see is the endless repetition, the sacrifices, and the unwavering commitment to discipline behind closed doors. Greatness doesn't happen by accident. It's built through disciplined choices repeated over years. When discipline becomes part of your identity, success becomes second nature. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop giving yourself options to quit. Instead, you follow the plan no matter what. For example, an elite athlete doesn't decide every morning whether they feel like training. Training is non-negotiable. A successful entrepreneur doesn't only work on their business when inspiration strikes. They put in the hours daily because they know the grind compounds into results. That's what discipline does. It takes the decision-making out of it. It turns success into a habit rather than a random event. And once something is a habit, it's automatic. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. You just do it. Discipline can make working hard as natural as breathing. But here's the challenge. Discipline is painful in the moment. It demands sacrifice. It requires you to say a no to things that are fun, easy, and comfortable. That's why most people avoid it. They want the reward without the sacrifice. They want the body without the diet. They want the wealth without the work. They want the achievement without the grind. And life simply doesn't work that way. Discipline forces you to embrace discomfort now so you can enjoy freedom later. That's the paradox. Temporary pain creates permanent gain. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're investing in a future version of yourself who is stronger, freer, and more successful. Think about it like this. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results. Without it, goals are just wishes. You can talk about what you want. You can dream about it. You can even plan it out on paper. But unless you apply discipline, it remains in your head. Discipline is what turns a someday into reality. It's the daily deposits in the bank of success. Skip a day, and maybe you don't see the consequences immediately, but over time it adds up. Likewise, practice discipline daily, and maybe you don't see results right away, but one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. The compound effect of discipline is extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Even in moments of failure, discipline is what keeps you grounded. Because let's be real, you will fail. You will fall short. You will have days when nothing goes right. But discipline says, I get up anyway. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to keep showing up. Every time you do, you strengthen your character, your resilience, and your grit. And eventually, that consistency builds momentum. Momentum builds confidence. And confidence fuels even greater effort. It all starts with discipline. Look at people you admire. Athletes, artists, leaders, innovators. What do they all have in common? Discipline. Michael Jordan didn't become great because he only practiced when he felt like it. He became great because he was in the gym before anyone else, and he stayed after everyone left. Steve Jobs didn't build Apple by casually working with inspiration. He worked with relentless discipline and attention to detail. Eric Thomas himself didn't rise from homelessness to becoming one of the most influential motivational speakers in the world by taking shortcuts. He built his life on discipline, waking up early, working harder than the competition, studying, preparing, and showing up no matter how he felt. That's the formula. So if you truly want to outwork everyone, discipline is the weapon you must master. Not talent, not luck, not motivation. Discipline. It will feel uncomfortable. It will stretch you. It will test you, but it will also transform you. Discipline is the reason why some people live their dreams and others just talk about them. It's the reason some people rise while others stay stuck. The question is, are you willing to embrace it? Because if you are, there's no limit to how far you can go, how much you can achieve, or how powerful you can become. Discipline isn't the enemy. It's the path to freedom, success, and greatness. There's something powerful that happens when you make consistency your weapon. People underestimate it because it doesn't look flashy. It's not the highlight reel moment. It's not the big applause or the viral clip. It's the quiet grind. It's the quiet grind. It's the unseen hours. It's the decision to show up when no one's watching. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about refusing to quit. It's about saying, I don't care how I feel today. I don't care what distractions are screaming at me. I don't care if nobody believes in me. I'm going to do what I said I would do. That's the difference between people who dream about success and the ones who live it. The ones who live it are not always the most talented, the smartest, or the strongest. They're the ones who showed up day after day after day, building momentum when everybody else was waiting for the right time. You see, life rewards the person who can stay the course. It's easy to go hard for a week. Anybody can be motivated for a month. But can you keep pushing for years? Can you keep waking up at 5 a.m. when nobody is checking? Can you keep studying when you already failed 3 times? Can you keep hitting the gym when you don't see results yet? Consistency is a war against excuses. It's a fight against the little voice in your head that says, skip today, you'll do it tomorrow. No. You kill that voice by taking action anyway. That's how greatness is built. You can't microwave success. You can't shortcut mastery. It comes through repetition, through showing up when you're tired, showing up when you're broke, showing up when you're discouraged, and saying, I'm not stopping until this becomes a habit. Think about the people you admire most. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the leaders. None of them got there by accident. They weren't lucky. They weren't chosen. They outlasted everybody else. Kobe Bryant didn't just take a few extra shots after practice. He stayed in the gym for hours every single day until it became second nature. Steve Jobs didn't just wake up one morning with Apple fully formed. He worked on his vision day after day, refining it, failing, tweaking, trying again, until the world caught up to what he saw. Consistency is the bridge between where you are now and where you dream of being. Without it, your talent is wasted. Your potential is wasted. Your opportunities slip through your fingers because you never showed up long enough to capitalize on them. And here's the truth. Consistency is not glamorous. It's not Instagram worthy most of the time. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's grinding through the same motions again and again. That's why most people can't do it. They want excitement. They want quick results. They want instant gratification. But success doesn't live there. Success lives in the routine. It lives in the discipline. It lives in the daily commitment to small steps that add up to something massive. Consistency is about stacking days, one on top of the other, until you built a wall that nobody can knock down. It's about understanding that one missed day can easily turn into a missed week and a missed week into a missed month. And before you know it, your dream is collecting dust. The hardest part of consistency is when progress feels invisible. That's when most people quit. They say, I've been doing this for weeks, for months, and I will see change. But what they don't understand is that consistency is like planting seeds. You don't plant a seed and expect fruit tomorrow. You water it daily. You give it sunlight, you trust the process. Yeah. Then one day, almost without warning, the roots break through, the stem shoots up, and you start to see the results of what you've been faithful to. That's how success works. You've got to believe in the unseen, trust in the process, and keep showing up long enough to see the harvest. When you choose consistency, you also separate yourself from the crowd. Most people won't commit. Most people will quit after they don't feel like it anymore. That's your advantage. While they're distracted, while they're procrastinating, while they're quitting, you're still here. You're still showing up. And day by day, you're building something they can't compete with. Because consistency compounds. Every day you put in the work, you're not just getting better. You're multiplying your effort. You're laying bricks that create momentum, and momentum is unstoppable once it starts rolling. Consistency is also a mindset. It's not just about action. It's about identity. When you decide that you are the type of person who doesn't quit, who always follows through, who keeps promises to yourself, then it becomes who you are, not just what you do. That's powerful because habits built on identity last longer than habits built on motivation. Motivation fades. Inspiration comes and goes. But identity, who you believe yourself to be, sticks. And if you tell yourself, I am consistent, I am disciplined, I finish what I start, then no obstacle, no setback, no excuse will be enough to stop you. So let me ask you, can you be consistent enough to outwork everyone? Not just for a week, not just for a month, but for as long as it takes. Can you keep showing up when the crowd stops cheering? Can you keep grinding when the lights are off? Can you keep watering your seed even when the soil looks barren? Because if you can, then there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Consistency is the silent force that turns average into excellent, dreams into reality, and effort into legacy. It's the game changer, the great equalizer, the one thing that separates those who almost made it from those who made history. When you talk about outworking everyone, you have to understand that distractions are your biggest enemy. It's not always the person who is smarter than you, stronger than you, or has more resources than you who beats you. It's often the one who can lock in, shut out all the noise, and stay focused on the task at hand. Focus is the weapon that separates the average from the extraordinary. Think about it. In today's world, everybody is connected. Everyone has a phone in their hand. Everyone has notifications going off. And most people are addicted to scrolling through social media instead of scrolling through their notes, their plans, their goals. They're watching other people live instead of working on building their own life. You cannot let that be you if you're serious about outworking everyone. Outworking everyone doesn't just mean working more hours. It means working smarter with those hours by giving your full attention and effort to the things that matter most. Distractions steal more than your time. They steal your momentum, your energy, your focus, and eventually your dreams. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you keep checking your phone every 10 minutes, if you keep letting gossip or negativity pull you away from your work, you'll never get ahead. Success is a game of inches, and every distraction pushes you back an inch. The people you see at the top, the ones who seem unstoppable, they didn't get there because they never had distraction. They got there because they refused to let distractions control them. They built habits, routines, and environments that allowed them to stay laser focused on their mission. You have to train your mind like an athlete trains their body. An athlete can't afford to eat junk food all the time because it slows them down. It messes up their performance. In the same way, you can't afford to feed your mind with junk, mindless scrolling, negativity, drama, or things that don't move you closer to your goals. Your mental diet matters. If you're constantly putting garbage in your head, don't be surprised when your focus is weak. Instead, feed your mind with things that sharpen you. Read books. Listen to podcasts that challenge you. Surround yourself with people who are pushing in the same direction. That's how you stay locked in. And let me tell you something. Focus is painful. People don't talk about that enough. Staying focused feels uncomfortable because you're forcing yourself to do the hard work instead of the easy, entertaining stuff. That's why most people give into distraction. They take the easy route. But if you want to outwork everyone, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to develop the discipline to say no when it's tempting to say yes. No to the party. No to the late night hangout. No to endless Netflix episodes. No to anything that doesn't serve your purpose. Every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your future. It's not just about big distractions either. Sometimes it's the small, innocent ones that rob you the most. Checking your phone for just a second, playing one quick game, watching one short video. They add up. Before you know it, hours are gone. That's why the most successful people create systems. They put their phone on airplane mode. They block out time on their calendar. They set up an environment where it's harder to get distracted because they know willpower alone isn't enough. You need strategy. You need systems that protect your focus because your focus is your fuel. Without it, you'll run out of energy before you even get started. If you really want to outwork everyone, you have to treat your time like it's sacred. Every second counts. Distractions steal those seconds and you don't get them back. Time is the one thing you can never replace. Money comes and goes. Opportunities come and go. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. So when you let distractions take over, you're basically handing your future away 1 second at a time. That's why you have to guard your focus like it's your life, because it is. Your life is made up of those seconds, those minutes, those hours. And the way you use them determines where you end up. When you learn to eliminate distractions, something powerful happens. You create momentum. Momentum is when your focus builds on self. When you stay locked in on one thing long enough, your brain enters a flow state where work feels smoother, faster, and more productive. That's how you make breakthroughs. That's how you get ahead of everyone else who's stopping and starting, losing focus every 10 minutes. They're always restarting the engine while you're already miles down the road because you stay focused long enough to build momentum. You also need to understand that distractions are not just external, they're internal. Your mind will try to distract you. Fear, doubt, insecurity, overthinking. These are distractions too. They pull you away from the work you need to do. That's why you have to practice mental toughness. You have to recognize when your own thoughts are sabotaging you and shift your focus back to the mission. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what's at stake. Remind yourself of the people counting on you, the life you're fighting for, the dream you refuse to give up on. That's how you silence the noise inside your head and stay locked in. The truth is, focus is a superpower in this generation. Most people don't have it. They're scattered, distracted, chasing 100 things, but mastering none. If you can be the one who stays laser focused on your goals, you'll outwork and outlast everyone around you. You don't have to be the smartest. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to be the one who refuses to be distracted. Because at the end of the day, the person who stays locked in the longest wins. And if you're willing to give up the distraction, if you're willing to protect your focus like your life depends on it, then yes, You can outwork everyone. Most people want success, but very few are willing to give what it actually takes to achieve it. They talk about dreams, they write them down, they post quotes. But when it's time to grind, when it's time to sacrifice sleep, comfort, and entertainment, they disappear. The truth is, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. You might not be the smartest. You might not be the most talented. You might not come from wealth. But if you're willing to grind harder, longer, and smarter than everyone else, you can close the gap. That's the one advantage nobody can take from you, your willingness to work when everyone else stops. The person who stays late when others go home. The one who shows up early when everyone else is still sleeping. That's the person who wins. Not because they're special, not because life handed them opportunities, but because they refuse to let anyone outwork them. Think about it. Everybody wants to win, but who's actually willing to pay the price? Who's willing to train longer than the competition? Who's willing to study when their friends are out having fun? Who's willing to invest hours perfecting their craft, even when nobody's watching? The people at the top aren't always the most gifted, but they're relentless. They put in hours when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's inconvenient. They understand that discipline isn't about doing what you like. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you separate yourself from the average. And success has never been about being average. It's about being extraordinary, and extraordinary takes extraordinary effort. Life will test your willpower. It's easy to work hard when you're motivated, when you're excited, when everything feels new. But real winners keep working when motivation dies. They don't need someone to push them. They don't need applause. They don't need a reward to keep going. Their vision is their fuel. Their hunger drives them. And that hunger doesn't get satisfied after one victory, one milestone, or one accomplishment, or a milestone, or one accomplishment. They keep going because they know the moment they relax, someone else is catching up. Someone else is working. Someone else is preparing to take their spot. That fear of being outworked, that obsession with being the best version of themselves, that's what makes them unstoppable. When you look at the greats, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, they all have one thing in common. Their work ethic is unmatched. They don't stop when they're tired. They stop when the work is done. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They don't complain about the hours because they know every hour invested now pays off later. While others look for shortcuts, they're building endurance. While others give up at the first sign of failure, they're learning, adjusting, and coming back stronger. That's the difference. That's why to succeed when others settle, they're not afraid to push their limits, to demand more from themselves, to keep going when the average person quits. And here's the thing, you don't need permission to outwork everyone. You don't need approval. You don't need someone to cheer for you. All you need is a decision that no matter what life throws at you, you're not going to be outworked. That decision changes everything. Suddenly, you're not comparing yourself to others. You're competing with yourself. Every day becomes about being better than yesterday, about giving more, about seeing how far you can really go. When you live like that, when you make the choice to outwork everyone, you become unstoppable. Because talent can't beat you, luck can't beat you, and even failure can't stop you. The only thing that can stop you is you, and you've already made the decision not to quit. So the question isn't whether you can outwork everyone. The question is, are you willing to? Are you willing to give up the excuses? Are you willing to push past tired? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for greatness? Because if the answer is yes, then there is no limit to what you can achieve. The world respects hustle. The universe rewards effort. And if you can outwork everyone, you can outlast everyone. And if you can outlast everyone, victory is inevitable. The grind may not be glamorous, but the results speak for themselves. And when it's all said and done, when you look back, you'll know that nobody gave it more than you. You'll know that you didn't get outworked. And that alone is worth everything. When you make a decision to outwork everyone, you step into a mindset that very few people are willing to adopt. Most people want results, but they aren't willing to pay the price for those results. They want the recognition, the applause, the comfort, but they don't want the struggle, the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifice, the discipline. Outworking everyone is not about being smarter than them. It's not about being more talented than them. It's about being relentless in your pursuit. It's about doing the things others won't do consistently until you achieve what others can't. The truth is, talent can only take you so far. At some point, the ones who are willing to grind longer, fight harder, push past their limits, they are the ones who separate themselves from the rest. When you decide to outwork everyone, you don't just make a promise to yourself, you make a lifestyle commitment. You're telling yourself, no matter what it takes, no matter how tired I am, no matter how hard it gets, I will not stop until I get what I came here for. Outworking everyone means refusing to give excuses a home in your life. Think about it. Most people can justify why they didn't get up this morning, why they didn't finish that assignment, why they couldn't stay consistent. They will always have an excuse ready to protect their comfort. But when you want to outwork everybody, you stop playing that game. You stop giving yourself a way out. You stop justifying laziness. You stop making room for average. Every single day you wake up and you make the choice to move one step closer to your dream, regardless of the circumstances. You don't need it to be convenient. You don't need it to be perfect. You just need it to be done. That's the mindset of someone who outworks the world. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for ideal conditions. They just get up and do it because they know that consistency beats convenience every time. But understand, outworking everyone doesn't mean burning yourself out. It means being strategic. It means being disciplined enough to focus on the right things, not just being busy. You see, a lot of people confuse activity with productivity. They think just because they're moving, they're making progress. But when you decide to outwork everyone, you learn to move with purpose. Every action has to align with your goals. Every minute has to be intentional. That's the real grind, not just working long hours, but making those hours count. Thus, anyone can stay busy, but not everyone can stay focused. That's where the separation happens. Outworking everyone means eliminating distractions, cutting out toxic habits, saying no to things that don't serve your vision. It's not easy. It requires discipline most people don't have. But if you truly want to be the best, you have to do what the best do. Lock in, stay consistent, and execute with precision day after day. And don't get it twisted. Outworking everyone will demand sacrifice. You're going to have to give up some things that other people aren't willing to give up. It might mean missing some parties, cutting back on leisure, saying no to some opportunities that don't align with your bigger goals. It might mean you don't get as much sleep as the average person. It might mean you spend your weekends grinding while others are relaxing. But here's the beauty of sacrifice. What you give up today becomes the foundation of what you build tomorrow. Sacrifice isn't loss, it's an investment. And those who are willing to invest more will always reap more. You can't want to outwork everyone and still live like everyone else. If you want to be uncommon, you have to make uncommon choices. When you choose to outwork everyone, you're not just building skill, you're building character. Because the grind will test you. It will push you to your limits. It will make you question whether you're capable, whether you're strong enough, whether it's even worth it. And every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, you're not just getting closer to your goal. You're becoming a stronger, sharper, more resilient version of yourself. Outworking everyone is about developing a mentality where quitting is not even an option. It's about training your mind to keep going even when your body screams stop. That kind of character, that kind of resilience becomes unstoppable in every area of life. It's not just about one goal. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle anything life throws at. And there's also something powerful about knowing you've given your all. When you lay your head down at night, there's peace in knowing you didn't cheat yourself. You didn't cut corners. You didn't settle. You gave everything you had. And whether you win today or not, you're building momentum for tomorrow. That's the advantage of outworking everyone. It guarantees progress. Even if you don't see the results right away, you know you're planting seeds that will eventually grow. The world might overlook you at first. People might doubt you. They might underestimate you, but they can't ignore consistency. They can't ignore someone who just keeps showing up day after day, grinding harder than everyone else. Eventually, they have to acknowledge you. They have to acknowledge you. Eventually, they have to respect you. And eventually, they have to watch as you rise above them. And let's be real, there will always be people smarter than you, more talented than you, with more resources, more connections, more opportunities. But none of that matters if you make the decision to outwork them. Because hard work has a way of leveling the playing field. It erases the excuses. It silences the doubts. It makes talent irrelevant when talent isn't willing to grind. You don't control how you start. You don't control what you were born with, but you control how much effort you put in every single day. And when you outwork everyone, you guarantee that no one will outlast you. They might sprint ahead at first, but when the race stretches long enough, endurance beats speed. The one who can keep going always wins. So the question you have to ask yourself is simple. Are you willing to do what others won't? Are you willing to wake up earlier, stay up later, study harder, train longer, sacrifice more, and stay consistent even when no one is watching? Because that's what it takes. That's the price of greatness. Outworking everyone isn't glamorous. It's gritty, it's lonely, it's tiring. But it's also the most rewarding feeling in the world when you finally achieve what everyone else thought was impossible. Because you'll know deep down, it wasn't luck. It wasn't a shortcut. It wasn't handed to you. You earned it. You outworked them. And once you've built that kind of legacy, once you've proven that no one can match your grind, you become unstoppable.